Welcome to the Horde. This is Green-Black Singleton. Now, I am playing Arena Singleton, but most of our opponents aren't because they don't, for some reason, they took away Magic Arena Singleton, which is kind of silly to me. It's going to be, I guess, not necessarily a seasonal thing, but a time-to-time thing. But I still enjoy playing Singleton, so we're still playing Singleton. As far as this deck goes, this is pretty much a throwback to my very first standard deck when I got in during Return to Ravnica, and that was all the good green-black cards that I owned. That was pretty much it. I would draft a lot, and I would throw all of my, if I got a new green-black card, let's say that I was playing draft and I was drafting, blue-red deck, if I came across a really good Golgari card, I would still draft it because I was like, oh, I could use it for my green-black deck later on. So this is definitely kind of a throwback to what I built back in the day. Maybe a little bit more refined, but still, kind of that's what we're going for. We do have some, come back here, Barrier Bones. We did some pretty good stuff in here. As far as the 1-drops goes, we got Barrier Bones. This is pretty much just going to be fodder for Blood Divination, or Costly Plunder. Get that Surveil, so it's always nice to get a little bit of card advantage with Surveil. Imp's going to allow us to go for some sort of hand disruption. Lana War Elves is definitely going to be some really nice ramp, and then Dead Weight is, of course, some really good removal for us. Coming up the 2-drops, we've got a couple good kind of different ways to get ahead on a mana or kind of look at the top part of our library. We got Druid, Dryad Greenseeker, Glowspore, Shaman. These all interact with some sort of way that allow us to either kind of ramp or get some more lands into our hand. Cast Down, Assassin's Trophy is going to be some good removal, and Costly Plunder is a way for us to sacrifice one of our creatures to get some card draw. At the 3-drops, we got Plaguecrafter, which is a really good way to kind of, once we've kind of stabilized the board and our opponent gets down something like Carnage Tyrant, we can go for Plaguecrafter to make them sacrifice a creature. Then at the other 3-drops, we've got District Guide, Jaylight Ranger, some of our ramp creatures. I'm trying not to just basically read the entire card. I want to make these deck techs a little bit quicker than normal. Trooper, he's just a straight up just value creature. Not much to say about that. Assassin's a really unique card. It is a 1/1. It does have Death Touch, so it kind of puts us in this position to where it's almost kind of like a lure in a way that we can send her in. All creatures have to block her, and then we can swing in with the rest of the crew. So it's kind of doing a sacrifice for the Golgari Claim, which is always really nice. Skittering Surveys are going to be another ramp creature, and then some more removal and some more ramp. Now, as far as the back end goes, one of the key pieces of this deck is definitely going to be Beast Whisperer. We want to get into a position where we've taken a lot of their early threats out of the game. Then we get down Beast Whisperer, cast something like Plaguecrafter, get them some card draw, make them sacrifice a creature. Also use something like Demon of Catastrophes to sacrifice a creature. Now we have a 6/6 flyer in the air. And then at the 5-drop, we do have Yargle in here. He probably shouldn't be in here, but it was one of those, I was like, hey, come on, Yargle, let's go. I've got a spot for you. And so it's just, there's some times where we clear the entire board with removal and Plaguecrafter, and you get down to 9/3, and they don't have an answer, and you get to swing it with the 9/3, so he's in here. Other than that, we're not expecting too much out of him. I also have Doom Whisperer and then Underrealm Lich. These are also the kind of the glue that holds this deck together. We want to get Doom Whisperer going, get that Surveil too, and definitely want to be really aggressive with that Surveil. And then Underrealm Lich with Surveil, any sort of card advantage is just silly. And then also Rise from the Grave. This is a wonderful card. Rise from the Grave hits any creature in any graveyard. So let's say we take care of our opponent's big threat. We can go for Rise from the Grave, throw it on there with our Carnage Tyrant, and we are good to go. But that is it for the deck. So I've got, I think, 5 gameplay videos for you lined up right now. So stick around. Enjoy. Welcome to Magic Arena. As far as our opening hand goes, we've got 1 forest in our hand. Does not sound that good. Let's go and mulligan. And then, we'll go ahead and keep. I'll explain why we're keeping this one. Definitely going to put that on the bottom for right now. And then I think our opponent's on the play, so we'll get this going. But yes, I'm still playing Singleton, Magic Arena Singleton. Fortunately, it's not an official sanctioned format. And so I'm just playing Singleton while we're at the mercy of whatever our opponent wants to play. And there's no really way to kind of like dictate that in making a match. So we're kind of stuck with this. But anyway, I still enjoy playing Singleton. It's always fun to kind of play a Singleton deck. But yeah, as far as keeping our opening hand, so the daily, if you're not familiar with Magic Arena, one of the things that it does is it gives you daily quest. And the quest for today is to play 25 lands. So when I saw the lands in our hand, I said, well, that kind of works out pretty well. So our opponent does get down a trusty Pack Beast, enters the battlefield, return target artifact card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay, let's go ahead and get down Selesnya Locket. I think that sounds good. Let's go and get the Locket down. Basically, we're just kind of ramping the Carnage Tyrant, and once we get that down, we can really start putting some pressure on our opponent. But as far as this deck goes, this is pretty much just straight green-black Singleton kind of we got some pretty good stuff in here. We got Assassin's Trophy, we've got Cast Down, Ravenous Chupacabra, Demon Catastrophes. We got Yargle in here hanging around somewhere. Yargle's not that good in the deck, but it's fun to do stuff like that sometimes. So we're here to have fun. Let's go and get down Imp, and let's go and go for the Imp activation. Oh, we have to tap it, excuse me. So we'll just go ahead and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, if we do end up getting down 2 more green sources, that will allow us to go for the Selesnya Locket card draw. So that's another way we can kind of dig into our library. If you're playing Arena, these lockets are basically kind of like your, well, Chromatic Lanterns League. I'm trying to think how to describe them. They're basically like your signets. They're always really nice, especially in a singleton format, and especially when something... oh, they took our Imp. Okay. But it's always nice to have a little bit of card draw and a little bit of ramp in the same package, so that's always fun. Let's go and get down Forest. Now, we can go for Carnage Tyrant if we want to. That's going to be Trample and Hexproof. If we go for Vraska, we can go for the -3 on the Pack Beast. That's going to put us all the way down to 1. Let's do this. Let's go and go for... Actually, if we get down Vraska, and then we get down Dead Weight onto the Pack Beast, then there's pretty much nothing that they can do. I like that. Let's go for Dead Weight on the Pack Beast. Typically, if you're a Pack Beast, you'll be carrying a lot of stuff. So if they become dead weight, that's not probably pretty good for some sort of animal. Let's go and sacrifice another permanent if you do gain a life draw card. I guess we'll go and sacrifice the Locket, because we'll be able to make the land drop next turn. Okay, for cashing that in for 1 card draw instead of 2. Then we draw into another swamp. Okay, then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now with Vraska, we're going for her ultimate. We have the -9 ability. You get an emblem that whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Oh, we got Traxos coming down. Okay, so with Traxos, that is a 4 converted mana cost. Unfortunately, we can't go for that -3. Let's do this. Let's go and get down Swamp, and then we go for Carnage Tyrant. We can at least trade Dinosaur versus Dinosaur. That's some pretty epic stuff. Yeah, let's go and get down Carnage Tyrant. And let's just slowly keep working. Yeah. And always imagine Carnage Tyrant like blasting some garlic breath over there. Let's go and go for the +2 ability. I don't think we're going to sacrifice a permanent at this point right now. We're just working towards that ultimate. And then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, Traxos is tapped at this point right now because they have not cast an artifact. If you're not familiar with Traxos, they have to cast an artifact to untap it. It does have trample, so they will at least be able to kind of push past with some sort of commander damage on us at this point. I'm trying to get popped up. They haven't... If you right-click on the card, it kind of stays up so you can talk about it. So, but if you haven't played Traxos, Traxos is a lot of fun to build in Commander, especially if you're building some sort of just kind of good stuff artifact deck. In fact, if you... All right, so we got Traxos swinging in. Let's go ahead and go for Carnage Tyrant. We're going to trade the Dinosaurs versus Dinosaurs. Now, we might end up going for... we'll see. Probably end up going for Psy, because if they get a lot of Thopters on the battlefield... And then let's go and get the Swamp down. That's going to be 4/7. Yeah, I like going for murder on... Yeah, let's go and take care of Psy, because if they get those tokens going, that's just not going to be a lot of fun. Let's go and go for Vraska's plus up for the +2 ability. And then, yeah, well, okay, we're going to get to 9. We're actually getting to that ultimate now to where we can use that -9 ultimate. And then we get down the Lich King and then Underrealm Lich. And I always think of Adventure Time when I see him. But we can get down the Underrealm Lich, and that'll allow us to go for Vraska's ultimate. So that'd be pretty cool. But yeah, as far as this actual deck itself, this is just straight up just green-black good stuff. And one of my favorite things about this deck is this is what it was like when I got into Magic during Return to Ravnica. I just played... I love the Golgari clan, so I ended up playing this really fun kind of Golgari build. Let's go and go for the -9. I've never gotten to get a Vraska ultimate, so this is going to be, yeah, that's pretty sweet. All right, so anything else? No, let's just go ahead and go to combat, and then we have that Underrealm Lich that we can go for. We can sacrifice Lich if we need to. Let's say our opponent has some sort of exile effect like bidding. We can go for Costly Plunder to draw 2 cards off of that, but at least at this point right now, we're looking at least swinging in for a 4/3 past that Aerial Engineer. They don't have an artifact yet on the battlefield. Teferi. Okay. And honestly, it looks like our opponent might be playing kind of a singleton build too. We haven't seen a lot of... you'll catch kind of stuff like this from time to time when you see some different singleton builds. Opponent's going to go for Teferi. 3rd from the top. Yeah, let's go and go for Costly Plunder. Yeah, we'll go and sacrifice Underrealm Lich. Okay, it's going to go into the graveyard. We do have Rise from the Graves too. There we are. We actually drew into it. So, and then what we can do is we can go for Rise from the Grave and bring back Lich onto the battlefield. Let's go and get down Swamp. That's going to put us at 8 total mana, which is actually going to work out really well. We have Psy and Traxos. Now, if we want to get cute, so we bring Traxos out of the graveyard, we cast Skittering. That's going to be trampled. Then we can go for Vraska Ultimate. Or if we get for Underrealm Lich, that's going to give us some really good... Man, I think... Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, let's go for it. We play Arena to have fun. Let's go for Rise from the Grave on Traxos. And then let's go and go for Skittering Surveyor. That way we can untap Traxos. And then, yeah, we're going to take that action. We'll go and grab a... I think at this point we'll grab a Forest. So Forest is going to go into our hand. We have Traxos untapped. Since we do have Vraska's Ultimate, whenever we deal combat damage to a player, that player loses the game. Okay, bummer. I figured they had some sort of way to bounce it back, but I wanted to give that a shot. So now we're probably going to lose to blue-white control, but like I mentioned, we're just here to have some fun. And also, you know, a lot of these videos for Arena that I'm going to start recording, like I mentioned earlier, the way to get the gold for today is to play 25 lands. So I'm basically just going to be playing some Singleton decks as we try to achieve the daily goal. All right, so opponent's going to knock us down to 13, and then they're going to be able to untap 2 lands off of Teferi. Then we draw into Dryad Greenseeker. Let's go and get down Dryad. And then I guess at this point, we'll just go and leave a card in the hand because we've got more than enough lands. Well, we need to get that goal, so we'll go and pass it. No attackers because the Diamond Mare is going to be able to stop us. Trusty Pack Beast. Yeah. We just need to build up a board state. Maybe they forget about the Vraska Ultimate. I doubt they will, but that's something that could possibly happen. But yeah, I think... You know, the more solid line of play that we could have gone for would have been bringing back Underrealm Lich because that gives us a ton of card advantage. But you know, sometimes when you play Magic, you put your opponent on the spot, like, "Hey, do you have something to stop us?" Otherwise, we're going to be able to swing in for a 7/7 trample, and they did. They bounced it back to the hand. All right, so it's going to knock us down to 9, and then our opponent's got the Zoria Senate. Definitely got called on the police. They're like, "Hey man, Vraska's trying to win the game over here, so we're gonna get Azor." Unfortunately, there's only 2 creatures, and we cannot push. Well, we can actually push past. Yeah, they're gonna block with Azor on one, and then Trusty Pack Beast and Diamond Mare on the other one. They're gonna. Well, either way, we're dead next turn, so we might as well just go and swing in. Maybe they just forget. Let's see. Is our opponent gonna forget? And we're going to attack, yeah, we're going to attack our opponent. Let's see if we can, they're like, no blockers, we'll take the 2. Okay, yeah, they sniffed that one from a mile away. Okay, they're going to be able to swing in for 6 and then 4 in the air. So our opponent's got it on this one. Even then, even if we do bring back Underrealm Lich, it's not a guarantee that we're going to be able to stick it on the battlefield. Our opponent would have been able to bounce it back too before we'd have gotten to take advantage of some of the card draw from that. All right, opponent's going to deal that. Good game to our opponent, and I will see you in the next game. Welcome back to game 2. We're playing against Nissa. She's got some green eyes. Kind of spooky looking. That's also the same color on my mouse. Fun fact, if you're wanting to know, well, I'll explain that in a second. So we've got Gilgate, we've got Swamp, Deadweight, Imp. Yeah, I kind of like this. I like Beast Whisperer. I'd like to have a little bit more ramp, or at least a little bit more, maybe another green source. That way we can get on Beast Whisperer. But I like this. We'll go and keep on this one. And then our opponent's on the play, so we'll let them get this started. So hopefully it's not Lana War Elves. That's not too bad. That'd be a good thing for us to go for Dead Weight. Yeah, I think I like that. Here you go. You got Lana War Elves. Here you go. You can have one of our very nice Rakdos Dead Weight, and we're going to let them do their thing. But yeah, so we're in game 2 now. I did check our goal for the day, and we are at 9 lands that we've played for the turn. So that next land put us at 10. So we'll be able to get 500 gold, which is just amazing. Wow. So good. Let's go and get down Golgari Guildgate. Let's go and go get down Imp. And then next turn, we can get down Lana War Elves. We can go for the Imp activation if we hit the land drop, so we'll see what we draw into. But either way, we'll probably be going for Lana War Elves. Depending on if we do rip into another land, we might simply just get down Beast Whisper and then hopefully kind of get some good stuff going with drawing some cards. And we draw into Selesnya and Locket. Yeah, let's go and get down Lana War Elves. Opponent did get down the Steel Leaf Champion. Can't be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less, and that is a 5/4, so they're definitely going to be doing some damage to us. Yeah, no attacks from us, and we'll go and pass the turn. Hopefully, with the land drop for next turn, we do have Price of Fame that will allow us to at least kind of take care of this Steel Leaf champion. So once we get that down, we got Nullhide. All right, so we got Mono. That's pretty sweet. That's pretty ugly, dude, too. All right, so opponent's going to be swinging in for 5 and 7. That's going to put us down to 11. And then let's see what we draw into. Draw into Rise from the Grave. Yeah, let's go for Locket. That's the only way that's going to make us at least get on for double green with Beast Whisper, and we go for Price of Fame. So no attackers, and we'll go and pass the turn. Now with Nullhide, it does have Hexproof. We can pay the 2 mana off of Nullhide to give it not Hexproof, and if spell or ability causes you to discard it, put it on the battlefield. So we can use that 2 ability if we want to, and we'll definitely go ahead and block on this Nullhide because it doesn't have Trample, and we want to stop that 6 damage because that's going to be pretty brutal. Okay, that's going to knock us down to 4. Now, I'm not super wild about it. We can block with Lana War Elves on Nullhide, but yeah, if we got the Price of Fame, I'll click OK. I'm trying to figure out why our opponent paid that activated ability. That's kind of odd. So we do have Price of Fame. Like I mentioned, we can't go for that. I was trying to figure out why they activated, like they're going to do, but they just passed the turn. So they got a 5/6 and a 5/4 for next turn. What we need to do, yeah, let's go to combat, because what we need to do is declare Lana War Elves a blocker on Nullhide, and then go for Price of Fame on Steel Leaf Champion, and that way it's going to allow us to at least kind of go for a good block off of Steel Leaf. So we'll see what else they kind of deploy out for the turn, but if they're just going to swing in, that's definitely going to be our line of play. Okay, they get the whole crew swinging in. Let's go and declare Lana War Elves a blocker, and then we'll go and go for a Price of Fame on Steel Leaf. They will still get in for 2. That is unfortunate. I'm not entirely sure. You know, if we hit the land drop, even then, we're still a little bit far away from Rise from the Grave. Let's go and put Overgrown Tomb into the graveyard, because that does not sound good to shock it in at 2. And we'll go and leave Swamp on top of our library. And they do get down Druid. Yeah, so with 6/5 and a 2/2, once we get the Swamp down, even if we get down Beast Whisper, yeah, there's not much we can do. We do have 1 board wipe in here, and that is kind of that split card, but even then, that's like 6 mana to get that split card down, and it still wouldn't deal with Nullhide. So, good game to our opponent. They got it on this one, and we'll see what... we have to go up here and click. There we go, concede. And we'll see what our land count is. I think it's only... we got 2 more. Put this at 11 or something like that. And that's one of the downsides of playing these Singleton decks in the queue, is that... my rank goes down pretty quick sometimes because we don't have a Singleton deck built. But let's go and ship this one over to Game 3. See you in just a second. Welcome to Game 3. As far as our opening hand goes, yes, I love it. We got Barrier of Bones, Forest, Chromatic Lantern, Underrealm Lich. We will keep on this one in a heartbeat. Let's go and lead off with Swamp. Let's go and go for Barrier of Bones. I'll be able to get that down, get the Surveil going. And then basically at this point, we're kind of digging for another land. Ravenous Chupacabra. Yeah, I like that. That's going to be pretty good. This is a really heavy control hand, so I will definitely take this. And we'll see what we're playing against. So hopefully it's kind of something cool. Grasping Scoundrel gets +1 as long as it is attacking. Let's go and get down Forest, and then, yeah, we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. We just have a Barrier of Bones. We can't swing them with Bones. But talk about how wild this art is. Like, if you haven't seen, like, the clear Kitesail Freebooter, yes, that's going to enter the battlefield. They get to take a look at our hand. They're probably going to take Assassin's Trophy. Yeah, that's fine. Either way, we've got a ton of removal. We have Ravenous Chupacabra. Whatever card they take, we can get it back. But with Barrier of Bones, how creepy is that? It looks like something straight out of a Dungeons & Dragons campaign. So I'm playing Dungeons & Dragons right now. I'm playing Curse of Strahd, and we're about halfway through the campaign, I think. And so they took Murder. And so we're halfway through the campaign, and I see this card. It always reminds me of like some of the creepier towns that we've been to. All right, so we've got Grasping Scoundrel swinging in for 2. We'll go ahead and block with Barrier of Bones. Get those bones rattling. It's just a 2/1, so it's not going to do anything. And then Blood Divination. Okay, that's kind of stuff that we want to see with Barrier of Bones, but I'd like to have seen a land drop for the turn. Anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, it looks like we might be playing as straight up just black-blue pirates, which That's okay. It's pretty fun to play against them. And the only downside is if they have multiple copies of like Kite Sail Freebooter, if they're not playing Singleton, then that kind of makes it a little bit hard for us to do what we need to do. At this point right now, since we really want Blood Divination to stick, we're just going to go and let this 2 damage come across. You know, we could block with the 0/3, but at this point right now, at least to me, I value having a creature to sacrifice for Blood Divination because that card draw will be really good. All right. So we do draw into Lano War Elves. Let's go and get down Lano War Elves. And that will be another green source. Now we do have Assassin's Trophy if we want to go for Kite Sail Freebooter just to get that back. We'll see what sort of board state they do end up developing. If we go for Assassin's Trophy on Kite Sail, that's going to give us Murder, which we can use for the Reaver. We'll see. I was going to go for Barrier Bones block on Grasping Scoundrel because I'm not familiar with the actual combat tricks, but I think... Yeah, I was about to say, I think there's one, but we're going to play around that one. Departed Deckhand, okay. And then we're drawn to Grow from Ashes. So we've got Chromatic Lantern. Let's see, next time we're looking at 4 in the air. And the Scoundrel's going to be able to swing in for 2. This is going to be 4, 6, 8. And then that will be a 10. It's going to put us all the way down to 3. We go for Grow from Ashes. It gets a land on the battlefield. And then unfortunately, I don't know if we can survive... that's the only one that does have flying. We do have a couple creatures that have flying. Yeah, it's a bummer that we're just not hitting our lands. Let's go and go for, yeah, because even if we go for Grow from Ashes, that's going to cut us off any sort of, yeah, I guess we just need to do it. All right, we'll go for Grow from the Ashes. Just go for the basic one. Let's go and put a swamp onto the battlefield. And then we'll go and pass turn to our opponent, see if we can survive. I'm not entirely sure what we can draw into, but at this point right now, we're going to try our best. Let's go for Barrier Bones on the Departed Deckhand. And that's going to allow them to swing in. The 3/2 does have flying, unfortunately, so that's not something we can do. That puts us all the way down to 5. Now, if we do draw into, like, we do have one board wipe in here, but unfortunately it's that 6 mana, like, split card board wipe. And I always like Rune Raider's little yield ability. It's just so, it's kind of goofy looking. Let's go to get the swamp down, and we've got Blood Divination, but I think we're dead on the back end. Yeah, because we go, well, I think we can Ravenous Chupacabra on Siren. 2 comes in, knocks us down to 3, then we can block on the rest of them. Yeah, we can still do something. Yeah, let's go for Ravenous Chupacabra on the Siren Reaver. Vraska's Contempt would be a nice draw. That way we get a little bit of a life buffer. And then no attack. We're definitely going to hold tight on this one. So we can block on one of the Grasping Scoundrels. Barrier of Bone's going to be able to block. Departed Deckhand is can only be blocked by Spirit. So that is a guaranteed 3 that they're getting in with. Unfortunately, with their creatures flying in the air. Let's go Blocker. Let's go Lano War Elves. And let's go Ravenous Chupacabra. That's going to be 3, yeah. Well, either way, we'll leave up Ravenous Chupacabra, just Barrier Bones, because we can't block on the Flyer or the Spirit tokens. That's going to be 3 coming across. I think, actually, we do want to trade with... We want to get rid of some of these creatures, so I think we're okay with making these trades. Yeah, there we go. If we're playing to our outs, it's going to be our best bet. So, Ravenous Chupacabra is going to trade with those. We go down to 2, and that kind of puts us in a position where we definitely need to hit the... some sort of either another land, that way we can go Assassin's Trophy to take care of Kite Sail, and then block, and then be able to cast Murder too. Alright, so the Dire Fleet Poisoner. But if you're keeping score at home, it's not looking good. I'll be honest. So we've got Barrier of Bones. Yeah, so it's going to be 1 in the air. Departed Deckhand cannot be blocked, so we go for Assassin's Trophy. Then Rune Raider swings in. I don't think either way... No matter how we spin it, I just don't think we're going to be able to make it. At least we're still going to make the land drop and get a little bit extra. Let's go for Blood Divination on Barrier of Bones. Now we can sacrifice Barrier of Bones and then tell our opponent good game. Unfortunately, they do not have Snuff out on Magic Arena. And so one of the things I like to do is on Arena is people have different skill-based things for the day. And so scooping, before they get a chance to actually close the game out, is... not that it's like bad, I'm trying to think how to describe it. Like, you never know what their quest is for the day. So I always like to at least kind of, let them actually close the game out. Because you never know, maybe it's they need to deal combat damage with, black and blue creatures or swing with a bunch of black and blue creatures. So I always like to at least give them the opportunity of going for that. So, but anyway, I will see you in actually 5 away, actually 10 away from the next land. So I will see you in the next game. Welcome to Game 4. Hopefully we have a little bit of a better game. And I just realized I think we've lost all 3 games, which is it's not a lot of fun. Let's go ahead and mulligan. Yeah, this is not super wild about this opening hand. Assassin's Trophy. Yeah, let's go one more go. I guess we'll keep on this one. Boy, this is really clunky. No, let's go and mulligan. Okay, we'll keep. And then Demon, we'll put you on the bottom. All right, so we're down to 4. We'll go and get the swamp down. And that's one of the downsides. All right, we hit another swamp. I'll take that. Get the swamp down. We'll go and pass the turn. That's one of the downsides of playing Singleton or Arena is that there's just, I'm playing it kind of like in a budget capacity, some sort of fashion. I'm not trying to sink as much money into it. What is that? Look at that. Some sort of spore cloud thing. Get out of here. Okay, but yeah, I'm trying to play it in some sort of budget capacity, and just trying not to sink a ton of money in there. Just kind of trying to grind it out with daily quests. And so when you're playing Singleton, unfortunately, they just don't have a lot of basics to choose from, or a lot of dual sources to choose from, and so there's a little bit of a growing pains as we continually grind the game out. Whenever a new set releases, I might sink some money into some packs that we just have a little bit more wild cards and different things like that. But for the time being, I'm trying my best to just kind of have some fun. All right, so we get down Golgari Locket. That does finally give us access to a green source. We can go for District Guide that will allow us to go for a Golgari Guildgate. We can get that down. That'll allow us to kind of get some good mana going. Basically, it looks like we're playing against mono green. We've got Elvish Rejuvenator and getting hit by 2 Elks, which is never fun. Let's go ahead and go for District Guide. At least we'll be able to stop some of those elks. And we also do have Plague Crafter too, which will allow us to, yes, we definitely want to take that action. Where are you, Golgari Guildgate? Let's grab that Guildgate and make the land drop for the turn, and then we'll go and pass the turn. So we can trade with some of these elks. We'll have the District Guide go elk hunting, and then hopefully we can get down Plague Crafter and really kind of stop some of this mono green attack from our opponent. Let's go for the block on one of the Highland Game. It's going to put us down to 6. And if we want to, we do have Rise from the Grave. That's going to allow us to gain 2 life and then get a creature on the battlefield to trade. That might actually be worth it at this point in the game. And then still have Plague Crafter to go for later. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for Rise from the Grave on Elk. It's not the most exciting line of play, but when you have to mulligan down to 4, you need to get as much value as possible. So let's go ahead and get the Highland Game. Get the and this is one of my favorite things when I first got into Magic. Rise from the Grave was actually, I think, was in Standard when I played. And one of the things that they would do, I always like to imagine whatever creature you bring it back to the battlefield, just imagine it as a zombie. So we've got this elk zombie, which is pretty cool. Let's go and block on Elvish Rejuvenator. We get to gain 2 life. That's going to put us up to 8. And then we draw into Assassin's Trophy, which is exactly what we needed for that Baloth. Let's go ahead and go for Assassin. That's going to be Death Touch. Yeah, I think that's good. Yeah, because that's going to put our opponent in a weird position, and then also allows us to go for Assassin's Trophy. So yeah, that's cool. Let's go and pass the turn. So shaping up too good. I'm shaping up pretty good so far. It's not too bad. I would have liked to take advantage of Beast Whisper. Once you get down Beast Whisper and get some of that card advantage going, it's really easy to kind of stabilize, especially in a Golgari deck like this. And so hopefully we can get down Beast Whisper and really kind of start casting a ton of stuff. Especially getting down Beast Whisper and then being able to go for Plague Crafter. Uh-oh, sorry. That always drives me nuts whenever the timer starts going for us. All right, so we have Assassin's Trophy on. It's going to be swinging across for a 2-1. I'm completely okay with cleaning the board up on this. Well, let's see what they've got going on. Let's go to blockers. Let's block on the Baloth with the Assassin. That will be Death Touch. That will allow them to swing in for 2. Because I'm just kind of curious to see what they have on the back end. Or actually, they're just going to pass the turn, so we can just straight up. Ooh, we got Yargle. Yargle can definitely hold back that Highland Game. Yeah, let's go get down Yargle. Now, this is a Singleton format, and Yargle doesn't really have much of a place in here other than just like, there's a lot of times where we trade a lot of resources, and it's just like, we get to this point in the game where it's turn 5, turn 6, or something like that, and we just end up with just a 9/3 Yargle on the battlefield, and we can start dealing some damage to our opponent. So that's kind of what we got going on with Yargle, if you're trying to figure out why he's in here. Let's go and get down Beast Whisper. That way he can start whispering to Yargle and telling them some secrets. Get down Beast Whisper, and let's go and get down a Swamp. And then no attacks. We're just going to go and pass the turn. At this point right now, we're going to try to stabilize as much as possible. So we've got a 9-3. We can pretty much just trade with anything other than Carnage Tyrant that will give us some trample damage. But at this point right now, we're basically going to be using Plaguecraft or Assassin's Trophy, and then using the card draw engine from Beast Whisper to hopefully kind of stabilize. All right, we got Rabid Bite. And then that was... what was that? Deals damage equal. Okay, let's go ahead and block with Highland Game, and then we'll block with Beast Whisper on Druid of the Cow. Actually, let's do it this way. So we got Yargle on Druid. We're going to trade on Druid, and then Beast Whisper is going to take care of the game. Yeah, I think we're okay with that. So they're going to gain a little bit of life. We end up with Beast Whisper on the battlefield. Oh, perfect. It's going to get down Swamp. Actually, let's go ahead and go for, let's get Trooper down. That way we can draw, yeah, there we go. I was hoping we hit a green source. So we can get down the green source, and then, yeah, let's go and swing it for 2. I think we're good with that. Go and swing it with Beast Whisper, and then slowly start chipping away at our opponent's life total. And then anything else, we'll go and pass the turn. So, like I said, if they get down some sort of big creature, even if it's something like Carnage Tyrant, we can still go for a Plaguecrafter to get rid of that creature, and then cash in some card draw. Now that we are making our land drops, we can go for Golgari Locket to draw a couple more cards, so we might end up going for that. Do we need to go for Assassin's Trophy on Lana War Elf, so that way we can kind of clear the way for us to start swinging in? No, let's go and hold on to it. I feel like we shouldn't have to go for that. Let's go and go for Jade Light Ranger. It's going to be another card draw drawn to Price of Fame, okay. And let's go and put that into the graveyard for right now. And then Gravedigger, we're definitely going to put that on top. So we'll definitely draw into that. Let's go and swing in. Swing in with Trooper. And we'll go and swing in with Beast Whisper. Because at this point right now, we're in a good position to where we actually have Assassin's Trophy and Price of Fame to go for destroying whatever sort of creature is going to happen. So hopefully this is going to allow us to stabilize, and then let's get the land drop down for the turn, and then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. So like I said, we've got some sort of removal on Lana War Elf, so even if they do get down Carnage Tyrant and it does have Hexproof, we can still take care of it with Plaguecrafter and get that card draw. If you're new to Magic Arena, getting down something like Beast Whisper in a really good value deck like this is one of the best things that you can do, because once you get to the point where you've traded all of your resources, being able to cash in extra card draw is always something that's really good. In fact, let's go and go for the Golgari Locket activation. We're going to draw 2 cards. Route and then Gravedigger. Okay, let's go in combat. Now with the Route, we'll probably end up grabbing 2 green sources. That way, Golgari Locket was basically our 3rd green source off of that. So I definitely need to get a few more green sources. And draw into Vraska's Contempt. So we go for Route, put them on the battlefield, tap, then shuffle your library. That will cut us off of going for Vraska's Contempt, but I think we're okay with going for Route. Yeah, we're good with that. Let's go for Route. Let's grab 2 green sources. We already did grab the Golgari Guildgate. Let's go to combat. You know, we're going to send the entire crew in on this one. So we're going to have 3 attackers. That's going to be 4. That's going to be 8. We can discard a card to Trooper if we want to. And that's going to be us getting rid of this. Yeah, let's go and go for that. Let's get rid of Gravedigger. Yeah, I think we're good, though. We'll go and get rid of Gravedigger. There's nothing too crazy in our hand that's going to really help us with Gravedigger. So let's go and go to damage. It's going to be kind of amplify that damage. Puts it up to 8. And then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. See what they get down. And then hopefully we can clear the way with whatever they do get down. We can clear the way with Assassin's Trophy and Plaguecrafter. Now that will put us at going for 8 next turn. Now unfortunately with us going for... Actually, so we can go for Vraska's Contempt on Highland Game to exile that creature. That's going to get rid of that life gain, and then we'll be able to go for Plaguecrafter on Lana War Elves. Rabid Bite. A target creature you control deals damage. Okay. We will need to go for... Actually, we can discard a card to get +2/+2, and that'll get rid of Plaguecrafter. But they'll still get that life gain. You know, we're okay with that. That's fine. We're going to let that fight go through. That's going to allow them to... Oh, this is straight up just bite off of that. Okay, excuse me. I thought they were going to fight off that, trading some damage, but unfortunately, It's just going to deal damage equal to its power. So they're going to be able to take care of our trooper that's going to go into the graveyard. And that's going to be over to our turn. Yeah, let's go for Assassin's Trophy on Highland Game. That's going to force them to gain that life. We can go for Plague Crafter, or actually Vraska's Contempt on Lana War Elves, and that'll allow kind of clear the way for us to swing in. Okay, and we draw to Find Finality. Then all creatures get -4, -4. Let's go and go for Price of Fame on Lana War Elves. That way we have a clear way to swing in. And we get the Surveil too. And then be Dryad Greens. Ooh, Carnage Tyrant. That is wonderful. Definitely put Carnage Tyrant on top. And let's go and go to combat. Let's go and swing in for 6. We'll send the entire crew in. Going to put them down to 4. And then anything else? No, we're going to go and pass the turn. So we got Vraska's Contempt in the hand, exile target creature. We got a board wipe if they somehow get a ton of tokens on the battlefield. We've also got Plague Crafter. It's going to be a 3/2, but opponent's going to scoop it up on this one, so we'll definitely take it. And finally, get a win with the Horde. So feels pretty good. I'm still kind of recovering from not being able to get that Traxos Vraska Ultimate. That would have been so much fun. Oh, we're 3 lands away from getting the. All right, we'll do another game. All right, see you in the next game. Welcome to Game 5. It's Tezzeret versus Tezzeret. All right. It's like when you play Street Fighter, and then they have the different colored uniforms. I don't know. I like that. Starts opening Hinkos. We've got 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I had a hiccup right when I was trying to talk. I was like, trying not to hiccup into the mic really bad. We got Swamp, Forest, Lana, War Elves, District Guide. We don't really have a lot of action. But I mean, it's not. We don't need to mulligan it. It's kind of one of those hands that's right on the cusp of, if we were playing game 3 and against somebody else, we might mulligan. But we're going to keep on this one. It kind of has everything that we need to get started. So, and the opponent's going to lead off with Scoundrel. So let's see if we're playing against black blue Pirates again. Let's go and get down Force. Let's go and go for Lana War Elves, and then we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. Now, we are 3 lands away from hitting our daily goal of getting that 500 gold, and we're 1 win away from getting a pack of Guilds of Ravnica. So, there's a lot on the line. It's like we're playing for top 8. We need to cash in a win against these black-blue Pirates. Yeah, they're going to swing in. That's fine. They can hit us for 2. Not too worried about that. Opponent's going to go for Chart of Course. Draw 2 cards. All right, so we draw into Undercity Rising. Let's go ahead and get down Swamp. Let's go and go for District Guide. That way, hopefully one of the ways we can outrace this pirate deck is by going for some ramp. Let's go and grab the Golgari Guildgate. It's actually going to go into our hand. We're going to just grab a Swamp straight up. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go for a Swamp. That way we just always have a land that's not going to come into play tapped. And then we also have a creature that we can trade with a Grasping Scoundrel too if they want to keep swinging in. So we do have Rise from the Grave, so that way if we do kind of we can go, let's say that we block with District Guide and we need to go for Rise from the Grave, we can bring that back to the battlefield and recast it. Or if we trade with one of their pirates on Yargle, then we can... we might be running into a combat trick, but we're going to see if our opponent's got it. Okay, I'm fine with that trade. And they're going to get down Departed Deckhand. Now, we do need to find an answer for Departed Deckhand because it is something that it can't be blocked except by Spirit. So that's something we definitely need to watch out for. Let's go and get down Forest. And that's going to be 4 mana. I don't think we want to go for Costly Plunder. Now, if we go for Undercity Rising, we can fight the Departed Deckhand. Let's just see what they get going. We'll go and pass the turn. They still got 3 lands, and then we'll see if they make the land drop, and then what sort of creature they get down before we go for Undercity Rising. We're still at 18-2, which is not like, we're getting below 5 or something. The Departed Deckhand's going to be lethal. Ravenous Chupacabra. Okay, so we'll definitely let that go through. Thankfully, we do have Costly Plunder in the hand, so they're going to target Lana War Elves. So let's go for Costly Plunder on Lana War Elves. That way we can turn that into a couple card draw. There we go. Drawing a lot more lands. The only thing that we need to do now at this point is get down some sort of creature. That way we can go for Undercity Rising. Let's go ahead and get Overgrown Tomb and then cast down. Let's go ahead and get down Overgrown Tomb. Let's go and put that into play tap. Not going to pay 2 live. And I don't think we have to worry about a counter spell, but let's go and go for cast down on a Departed Deckhand. It's still going to become whenever it comes to the target of a spell, you have to sacrifice it. So either way, we're going to be able to take care of it. And then, we'll go and pass turn to our opponent. So that's going to leave us in some sort of option to go for Undercity Uprising to give our creatures death touch and have it fight another creature. It'd be nice to have an entire board state of creatures. That way we can swing in for some sort of, not lethal, but deal a lot of damage to our opponent. But we can always use it as a last resort to go for that. Let's go and get down Forest. And then as far as Rise from the Grave, not really a ton of options that we necessarily want to go for. One thing that we can do, we get down Yargle, go for Undercity Rising, trade with the Ravenous Chupacabra to go for Rise from the Grave on Ravenous Chupacabra on that Siren. I think I like that. Yeah, let's try to go for that. We can go for that next turn. Well, not all at the same time, but ooh. Riddlemaster Sphinx. Okay, so it's going to send Yargle back to the hand, and that's going to allow them to swing in for 5, put us down to 9. So we need to get some sort of clock going pretty quick. Ooh, there we go. This is exactly what we need. Let's go and get the swamp down. Let's go and go for Pilfering Imp. Yeah, and I think I still like going for the Rising, taking care of Ravenous Chupacabra. That will be 8 in the air, which is not a lot of fun. But that's going to basically give us the answer for... Yeah, because if we even bounce Ravenous Chupacabra back, yeah, we need to go for that, because that's going to allow us... It's going to put us at 1. Let's go for Undercity Rising. Yeah, let's do that. Undercity Rising, target creature gains Death Touch, and we're going to fight the Ravenous Chupacabra. That's going to send it into the graveyard. We already did make the land drop for the turn, so that's going to be 8 coming across, puts us down to 1. So fingers crossed they don't have any sort of combat trick to give them a little bit of extra damage. But we go for Rise from the Grave on Ravenous Chupacabra. And actually, now that I think about it, we need to get a... Oh, bummer. They're going to go for Kitesail Freebooter. And they're going to steal our Rise from the Grave. All right, we'll see what we can draw into. Even if we do have that split card that's -4/-4, that's not going to get past the Riddlemaster Sphinx. And we draw into Guildmage's Forum. That's a bummer. We'll still get down Yargle. And we'll make the land drop for the turn. Kind of just more of a statement, but we'll just go and throw the good game to our opponent. We'll get down Yargle, and then we'll go for Swamp, and then we're going to pass the turn. So, unfortunately, I was hoping to get that last win to get that pack, but I need to start getting ready for work. So let's go and get down Swamp, and then we'll go and pass the turn to our opponent. So, hopefully, some of these decks, it's a little bit easier if we play against... some Singleton stuff sometimes. When you're playing against some of these, constructed decks, a little bit hard for you to kind of get your game plan going. But hopefully as we get more packs going, get a few... Whoa, look at that. Pretty sweet. I don't know. I see some of those animations sometimes. It's pretty cool to see it. Now, our opponent does have lethal at this point right now. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, that's going to put us down to -8. And then let's get us... we're going to claim that 500 gold coin prize tag real quick. Thankfully, our ranking is not taking a huge hit at this point right now. Let's go and get those gold coins. There we go. Got the gold coins. You can see we're 1 away from getting a pack, so hopefully we'll get that win in the next video. But as far as these arena videos go, I'm still playing arena, and I kind of want to just record some of these kind of hangout sessions, not something to where we're having to record, going through this tournament, different things like that. Now, they did have a Pauper sign up this past weekend, and I just don't have the card base at this point right now to support a good Pauper deck, and so that's why I didn't record any sort of Pauper content. So hopefully they'll bring back Singleton. Eventually, they're going to have to bring in Brawl at some point, and so we'll be able to get some pretty fun Brawl videos going. And once they bring Brawl, and it's kind of like more of a stable Brawl format, like it's always going to be around, I'll definitely start recording a lot more Brawl content and then investing more money into arena. That way I have more cards. But at this point right now, I'm just grinding out the daily things. The only amount of money that I've invested in arena is basically the $5 starter pack. And so I've just been trying to complete the daily quests as much as possible to get a lot of gold coins. Like we have 18,000 gold coins that we could cash in some packs at the store. Just kind of show you. Yeah, 1 pack is 1,000 points, 1,000 gold coins. So we have at least 18 packs sitting at this point right now. And that's been me just basically just playing Guilds of Ravnica daily for the last, I don't know how long I've been playing, not even a month. So that's 18 packs of Ravnica. And then once you do complete some of these quests, you start to get a lot of decks. And you actually get a lot of really good cards in those decks, which if you enjoy Brawl, you enjoy Commander, it's going to be sooner than later that they put Brawl onto Magic Arena. And so the quicker that you start playing Arena and the quicker that you start just doing these daily quests just to kind of get some of these core decks, because those core decks are a wonderful way to start building up a Brawl collection. And, you know, if you're looking way, way, way down the road, eventually they're going to have some sort of eternal Brawl format, because if you think of Arena as the starting format for this new age of digital Magic, it's really, you know, it's not hard to think about that, you know, eventually there's going to be an eternal Brawl format in some form or fashion on here. And so, you know, being able to start off with a bunch of these staples in these play decks are a really fun way to go for that. But that's going to be it for the video. That's enough rambling. If you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.